teach, an experienced teacher who was a friend of mine. And afterwards, he went, Cayer, you are working way too hard. These kids could do that. And I went, no, they're all, he said, no, these kids can hear that. They can hear right and wrong, and they can correct it. So I have changed my teaching style tremendously over the last probably 7 or 8 years, to where my band will play, and I'll stop and I'll go, what'd you hear? I heard that the trombones were way too loud. Okay, good. What'd you hear? Well, I heard that the clarinets were going too fast. What'd you hear? Those tubas, they sound great. Man, they got a big sound today. And so good and bad, we have the students analyze their own musical performance. So you could do that in anything that you do. I learned, it was later on, but like I said, it was only about 7 or 8 years ago that I learned that whatever you believe that the students will do, they can do. And for the first several years of my teaching, I did not believe that students can hear and evaluate a musical performance to a high degree, and I was way wrong. And so when you guys have them reading children's books, and you think that they're missing all of those things that only the adults get, you'd be surprised at how many of them they really do. There's so many of the, what books you read? Little Whistle? I don't know that one. What is the, Amelia Bedelia, is some funny ones. Who's the other? There's another girl, little girl, that so many of the jokes in the books, you think that have the kids read it, and you'd be amazed at how much they get out of it if you question them and say, what'd you think? So when you guys sing your little, when you have somebody go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, well, what'd you think? Well, they didn't clap on every 3, or let the kids do the evaluation. Again, in LFS, that you're going to hear so much about, because from what I understand, LFS is here to stay. It's learning focused strategies, and they talk about getting the students to the level where they are evaluating, that they are analyzing, that they're the ones doing the higher order thinking, and that's what this first one is all about. And if you just eliminate the word musical performance and put anything else in those 2 words, that's what's going to make you a successful teacher. Identify strategies for develop students' analytical skills to evaluate math problems. Well, can they? Sure they can. When they start picking out similarities and differences, compare and contrast. When they start saying, this one is harder than this one, and doing all that evaluation. So, that hit all of the nuts and bolts of this.
You guys have any questions?
Yeah, throw out some questions here if you got them. What time are they officially supposed to be here?
An hour, but it doesn't have to be an hour.
Okay.
I mean, it's...
Because I want to hit a couple things in here, and I know I certainly don't want to keep you guys past your time, but I also don't. I know that you guys are. No. It's Tuesday afternoon.
This is different for us. This is good because we need this, and this is a huge part of the coursework that they have to do. And we're actually, Mr. Groff is coming next Tuesday,
Excellent.
The art teacher from Cleveland Court, to do art for us in the elementary setting.
Excellent.
So this is huge. If you would, talk to us a little bit, and this is kind of off it, but talk to us a little about how to develop or create a love for music in children.
Funny, because just this week, somebody questioned me and said, do you consider yourself as creating musicians or technicians? And I thought that was a really neat question, is, are we looking at, when I teach music, am I just trying to teach them to wiggle their fingers on the instrument and produce noises, or do I want them to have a true love of learning? Of course the answer is that we want them to have a true love of learning. But after I gave it more thought, I said, you know, the skill set has to be there. And especially in the primary levels, you guys, you're setting the foundation for the rest of them. Kindergarten, first grade, second grade, you are setting the foundation for the rest of their life. And it's so important for the 2 of you in that primary levels to get them to love education. I didn't say love school, to get them to love education, to love learning. And if you guys make it fun, but rigorous and relevant, I'll throw out some more Polk County keywords. If what you're doing is applicable to real life, and they can make associations of what are we doing here, and how is it going to make me a better person at home? What are we doing in this kindergarten classroom that I can take home and go tell mom? And the best thing that you guys could do is have them run home and go, Mom, 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 we learned a new song today at school. Let me sing it to you. And it's not just a fluff song, but it's a educationally sound. You're teaching them something through it.